So we've got a frozen unit. So we've been here a couple times, and each time we come out, it works. But there's no blower running, and we are in a call for cooling. So let's make sure we're getting our call. For G. And we are so wanna take this off easy. Probably gonna have a relay problem. Trying to be easy so I don't vibrate the relay. Coil froze. And there we go. Bad relay on that board. So we're going to swap that out. Alright, so we're going to replace that lower board with this. It's a rental property. It's an old unit. And when I get outside, I'll explain the details when we're checking the charge. But we're going to replace that with this. Done it plenty of times. Okay, so to bring our blower speed, Okay. So blower speed. We'll go there. Our incoming line voltage. We'll go there. And then our back tap from the heat sequencer. We'll go there. Blower runs. Blower runs. If the heat sequencer comes on, blower runs. Call for G, fan. Blower runs. And we're just going to get our low voltage squared away. So these browns are our common. This gray is our fan. And these two are just 24 volt. So we'll cut them all. There. And then we're going to wire nut the commons together. Wire nuts. So I'm going to wire nut all of our commons together. And we're going to wire nut, oh, not all the commons. I do need to make a common to come back to the relay. Alright, so I have made a common right there, tied in there to go down here to my relay and the low voltage coil. And then now I just need to tie in G. Right here. Crimpers, Carlisle, Napa Auto Parts. Wire strippers, cutters, crimpers, pliers. These things come in handy. So, and I put the wrong size stake on there. I put that tiny blue stake on that goes on transformers. Bring that around, tie that in. So we have common G, we have our incoming line voltage for the blower, our blower speed, and then this is our back jumper from the heat sequencer, so that the heat strips, if the sequencer sticks or closes, it feeds back to the normally closed part of the relay and will run the blower. Let's put the power back on. And test it out. want to put my amp clamp around in here because I want to make sure the heat strips do not run in any position whatsoever unless the sequencer is calling for them to be on. 0 amps. And I'm going to jump R to G. If I have 24 volts. Oh, I forgot to wire nut my R's together. Might want to do that if you want 24 volts. So get R wire nutted together. Now let's try it again. We will jump G and R. And that coil's already melted down. It was just frost, a thin layer of frost. It just started before I got there. When I get outside to check the charge, I'll tell you the story on this. And the only thing running is the blower motor. So we're going to wait for that zone board to go through a delay with the thermostats, and we'll go outside. Alright guys, so the backstory on this, the tenant was sitting like right at the bottom of the attic stairs, little office there, so just trying to be a little quiet up there. But anyway, backstory on this, we've been out here twice in the last probably 4 or 5 working days, and we get here and typically we'll tell people to turn the system off, because if it's frozen solid or it's a block of ice, you know, the time it takes to sit up there and thaw that out on a busy schedule, it's just hard to do. We have to come back. So we typically will tell them that. So we came out each time we came out and we turned it on, and everything came on and ran fine. The zone dampers would open and close like they were supposed to. Charge is good on it, which I'm checking that right now, and it was okay, everything's working fine. We didn't find anything. We did that twice in a row. So this time we told them to, if it happens again, just leave it that way and call, because we're only about 12 minutes around the corner, and I don't know why I'm having problems getting these things linked up. Probably need to do another update on them, I don't know, but the pressures are fine. Got like a 125 and a 308. But anyway, these things are acting up, I guess. But so I was right around the corner in the office, so they called in and said, hey, this thing just stopped cooling, it's getting warm in the house. 2-story house, zoning 1 system. So I came over here, I said leave it on, let it run. I got here, it was frosted, it wasn't frozen yet. Give it about 3 or 4 more hours and that would have been ice, and what was on that coil would have been ice. It was just frost. Blocked airflow at that point, but we didn't have any airflow. First thing I did when I got here was come straight to the outdoor unit and disconnect Y, because I wanted to see if the contactor was sticking. Contactor sticks when the thermostat satisfies, this thing stays on, the coil's going to freeze because the blower's not running. I disconnected Y, contactor opened, I knew that wasn't my problem. So I went upstairs, and I just noticed when I got upstairs at the return, I didn't hear any air, didn't hear the blower, didn't hear any noise. Got up in the attic, and there it was. So we were having an intermittent issue with that control board. If I had cycled it off, let it sit for a few minutes, that relay would have opened, and then it would have cycled properly with the thermostat. But those little relay, those little blower boards, and those carrier pane Bryant air handlers is all the same part. It's no different than that one that Goodman has, that little 24 volt. It's just a time delay board relay. And okay, well, the time delay is gone. I can replace those with that 9340 relay. Just make sure it's wired properly so that the heat strips don't run unless the sequencer closes, and obviously make sure that the blower runs properly and it's not energizing the heat strips. You wire it backwards, you'll do that. So I checked all that basically just by checking amp draw. I've replaced those boards many a time with those relays. This is a property manager's property. It's an older unit. These tenants are moving out, and this place is kind of cruddy. This is one of those property managers that if you rent something from them, don't go into it with high expectations, because it's going to be minimal expense on repairs, whatever you got to do to get it working, that kind of thing. They're not worried about OEM parts or something else will work. So that's what I did. I put that relay in there. Shouldn't have this problem anymore. We didn't catch it the first 2 times, and that's happened before. You get there, it's turned off, you turn it on, everything runs fine. 3 days later they call back, hey, it's freezing up again. You assume maybe it's a zone damper, but they're both working when you get here. Maybe the damper's sticking closed, but in this case it was a blower relay. That control board just wouldn't close. You saw me bump it 3 or 4 times, and that's how I usually check those, is I'll bump that and eventually it'll snap closed, and then the blower will come on. So anyway, appreciate you watching, guys. Like, subscribe. The weed eater guy showed up around here somewhere. I can hear him. He'll be over here in my ear in a minute. But anyway, I'm getting out of here. This job's done. We're gonna bill them for this and be down the road.